What's up, everybody? Welcome to our channel. We are Buku Popcorn, and this is the first video that we will be having on our channel. So thank you guys for stopping in, and if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. The first video that we are doing, the first review, is going to be on The Haunting of Julia Fields. Yeah.
That part.
That movie was horrible.
It's
pretty
beyond
bad.
horrible.
Yeah, the movie's pretty damn bad.
What do you have to say?
Oh man, I got a lot to say about this movie actually. It's just, you can really tell that horror is, it's not what it used to be. I just don't. There haven't really been a lot of movies lately that's been scaring me, and this movie right here just definitely didn't do this. I saw this more as a comedy than anything else.
I thought it was boring.
It was that too. It was a boring comedy, if anything.
It was very boring. Yeah. Speaking of horrors, I have to find other ways to watch horror nowadays, and new stuff that they're making. It's just not cutting it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. This is super boring.
Yeah. The thing that really got me about this movie, though, was just the overall the acting and the main character, Julia.
Mm-hmm.
I just, her acting and the way that she reacted to things that were going on in the movie, it just seemed so cheap. And nothing stood out,
Mm-hmm.
It's like when things were happening, it's like, I don't know if she just didn't know how to convey reactions through her acting or if it was just written for her to be so blank.
Maybe it was. Maybe because they were on a budget.
But they didn't have enough money to pay for her reactions?
Well, her reactions probably would have, had some sort of scream to it because there were no screams in the movie.
She didn't scream not one time.
Not one time.
Like even when things were scream worthy, she didn't have a single reaction to things.
No reaction. It was a lot of non-talking type of things. No reactions.
Yeah.
Horrible music. Oh, what else? I don't know.
It was a shit movie. I'm sorry. I mean, there's not really too many other ways to put it.
Yeah.
It just was a really bad movie.
It was a really bad movie.
And it was also based upon a true story.
It still baffles me that it was based upon a true story and it could be this bad. I mean, I would be pissed. If it was based on
because if I was Julia Fields and I was like, hey, you're making a movie about what happened with you, and I was like, oh really? Oh, I want to see this shit, and then you watch this and you're just like, well, goddamn,
yeah,
y'all making me look real stupid right now.
Yeah, and also the fact that it's a haunting type movie, a haunting of someone type movie. Mm-hmm. Usually those types of movies are like possession type movies. And this did not have a possession at all. I guess, possession of the house, maybe? A haunting of the house?
I don't know.
Sort of.
Well, I know what you mean. Like, you got the haunting of Julia Fields. It makes it seem as though at some point she could become possessed by something. Because I think there was another movie that you mentioned, the haunting of Molly Hartley.
Molly Hartley.
Molly Hartley, or whatever that was. I think that she was possessed in that.
Yeah, she was.
Majority of movies that have the haunting of somebody, that means that it might as well be the possession of that person. And that wasn't the case right here. The haunting of Julia Fields, it didn't really feel like, it's really hard for me to actually describe, because the movie was just so shit.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a haunting. It was about, based on somebody that was delusional. Mm-hmm. That was crazy.
They should have called this movie The Confusion of Julia Fields. Because she was just confused about everything that was going on.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why she couldn't react to things the way she was supposed to react to them.
Yeah.
Right? So, I guess we can talk about what the movie kind of is about. It's about her moving to Florida from her father's house She moves into the house. It's you know, strange things are happening to, you know, while she's staying there.
She moved. And they didn't really say why she moved, but you know, you kind of gather that she moved to have a new start because of a bad relationship, a broken up, you know, relationship or something like that
with her boyfriend.
With her boyfriend, but. Yeah, that was crazy because apparently he didn't know. Everybody else knew, but he didn't know.
But she kind of did it on a whim. It seemed as though she just like packed the bags up and left and then went to Florida. And then she told everybody via video message when she got there. You know,
was that social media? A social media post?
They didn't really say what social media, you know, site she was using. I think she was just uploading videos to whatever, and they were all her friends were seeing it. And that's how they found out that she left for Florida. You know?
Yeah.
She should have stayed her ass at home.
She should have stayed at home.
She should have stayed her dumb ass at home. Because the shit that happened to her while she was in Florida was ridiculous.
With the so-called hauntings and the landlord barging in all the time, being creepy and weird. The horrible best friend that was giving the horrible advice. Everybody trying to warn her about things that are happening and her shrugging it off like it never happened. Mm-hmm. And and then the end. Basically.
The ending of this movie was probably one of the dumbest endings I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it is based on a true story really makes me feel like so she ends up killing her friend at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Right? You know, because, and you can see all the things during the movie that leads up to her doing that. Because during the movie, she sees different types of ghosts. The landlord that was the, you know, that she was always talking to and coming to the house doing all kinds of things. She finds out that he actually killed himself and his family. Mm-hmm. But she was also seeing another ghost, which was like some ghoulish looking, you know, thing in a hooded cloak, right? Yeah. And then there was also the guy from the beach that she saw. That weird guy from the beach. I'm guessing that they must have just picked any guy up off the street and said, "You want to be in the movie?" And he said, "Sure." And he just went on there because he just tanked that part.
Yeah.
And to me, that was the most funniest part of the movie. That guy on the beach with the balloons.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the most funniest part of the movie for me.
I thought the funniest part was when she saw, it was either between the double dream sequence or the hooded thing that she was seeing, and it attacked her or came after her, and she got a gun. And I'm like, where did the gun come from? And it's
more of, what were you going to do with the gun?
Yeah.
I mean, look at this thing. You were going to shoot it? What, you was going to shoot a ghost?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And she grabbed that gun after that thing, like crawled after her and did all that stuff. She goes and she grabs the gun. She goes, lay down on the couch, gets herself some popcorn, and just fall asleep. Yep. Like, that shit did not just happen.
It didn't happen.
I would have packed my bags and gotten all kinds of the fuck out that damn house. I'm just like, why are you still staying here at this point? You really have no obligation to, well, maybe if she had a contract or whatever, but did she really can you really make a contract with the ghost?
I mean,
because the landlord was dead.
Well, then another thing was, she had all these eviction notices on her door, you know. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that's another thing. Okay, so let me try to see if this makes sense. So okay, so the landlord is dead. It was a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, how did she make contact with this ghost anyway to be able to get in this house? You know, that part just doesn't make no sense. It's a big plot hole right there because there is no formal contract that you can make with a ghost to where you receive a house to rent in return, right? So whatever, she probably called this ghost more than once because it wasn't like she just called one time and said, "Yeah, I want the house now."
Was she squatting?
Squatting?
Was she squatting?
No, she wasn't squatting. You don't squat and then have a landlord.
But the landlord was the ghost, and she kept getting eviction notices on her.
But that's what I was getting to.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was she never had because the guy killed himself a month before she got there. Which also means, how did the house go up for rent so quickly afterwards?
Well, we having all kinds of revelations.
My God.
This movie right now.
Oh my God. Like, okay, so somebody literally just killed themselves in their family in this house. And a month later, it's up for rent?
Yeah.
That's not how that works. That is a crime scene.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she's squatting, babe. I'm telling you.
She ain't squatting. She called this ghost, and someone had to tell her about that house. She had to see a listing for it or something. Or, she had to see a listing because she had to get a number to call because the landlord was there waiting for her before she arrived.
But
so they had an arrangement.
But why is she getting these eviction notices and he's not taking care of them?
Because he's dead and he can't take care of shit. I think what happened was, but that would make it, what I was thinking was maybe when she went there, since the guy is a ghost, there is no contract that was made. There is no actual paperwork saying that she's renting this house. And that since the guy died a month prior, he wasn't paying his house note. So when she moved there, it was his eviction notice, not hers. Because she has no reason to get an eviction.
Right.
Because she hadn't even been there long enough to even pay the first month's rent. And that's another thing. Who was she going to pay the rent to?
I thought she had already paid. She had already put some kind of security deposit down. And I did mention that when we were watching the movie that she didn't even sign anything. There was nothing for her to sign. It's like, so her acquiring this house is really, there's this big plot hole right there. It makes no sense, and ultimately, she was found guilty of murder because she killed her friend, and you can see how the movie kind of leads up to why she did it. So it's making me wonder, like, what the director was trying to say. Was he trying to say, hey, I'm going to show you what she said happened. You think, for yourself about whether you would believe her or not. Mm-hmm. But I want to know what the director believes. Oh, my God.
It's like, what do you believe? Because the way that he shot the film makes it seem as though she has a legitimate reason as to why she shot her friend at the end. Because you put all things together. The guy that she saw with the balloons at the beach that scared her, who she thought was following her home. The hooded figure that she saw, crawling on the ground, reaching out and, tormenting her. And then the fact that she eventually finds out that her landlord is dead. Mm-hmm. All that. And then her friend shows up. She's been conversing with her friend and everything throughout this whole time. And the friend agreed to come over there, but I think the issue was she didn't know when she was going to come. So Julia left a key and everything for her to, whenever she showed up to come on in, right? Mm-hmm. So she shows up unannounced, doesn't say anything. And when she walks through the door, she has a hood on and she's carrying balloons, looking just like the hooded creature that she saw in the house and like the guy with the balloons. So she got this gun. She got the blicky. And she popped her ass. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of made me feel like the director may think that any logical person would do that in that situation. The way that it was shot. Come on. But the way I'm thinking is if I was in the jury and I heard that story, I'd have sent her ass off to jail too.
Lord. Yeah, trying to make sense of this movie is crazy.
It's there's a lot of things about this movie that just doesn't make sense. The acting in this movie was atrocious. The writing dialogue. It's just like everything about it. It was boring. It had some funny parts that, you know, that I laughed at just because it was so damn bad. And I'm upset that I paid 99 cents to rent this shit.
I'm sorry that you did too.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
It was a bad investment.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I sat through this movie.
Twice,
yeah.
Yeah, we watched this movie twice. Yeah.
Sorry to say that I did, but yes, I watched it twice.
Yeah. And it was shit.
Let's just give it the rating. Give it the rating, man.
It's, to me, it's a definite burn.
It's burnt.
It's a definite burn.
We're in agreement on this. It is
definitely
burnt.
Definite burn. Yeah. You know.
Okay.
So our rating system is fresh, good, stale, and burnt. Mm-hmm. Fresh, of course, being the best, burnt being the worst. And if we had a category beyond burnt, that's what I would give this movie. That's what I'd give it.
Yeah, it's in the ground.
Yeah, it's definitely in the ground.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what we think about it. That's our review, our first review.
All right. And if y'all like, you know, the conversations that we have here, if you like what you see, just come back and see us again. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. And if you have a movie that you think is worse than this shit right here, please drop it in the comment section. And we would love to see it and do a review on that. Yeah.
Okay.
So until next time, y'all.